It's a personal story. So let me go back a little bit. When I was 11, 12 years old, as far as my earliest memory was at Bluebird Nursery School. Bluebird Nursery School was a private nursery school run by a lady, I don't remember her name, in a brownstone in Harlem, New York. And it was a kind of a daycare center, but it was nursery school up to pre-K. Then I went to another school for first grade. And same kind of thing. It was the brownstone next door. The lady ran the whole thing, and then I went there first, second grade, and then I went to another school, and then I went to private school in fifth grade. There was a big wheel that they had at this nursery school, Bluebird Nursery School. And it was a big wheel. You guys remember big wheel? Colby, do you remember what a big wheel was? Or maybe it's not around, but a big wheel was a little car, little. It wasn't a bicycle, but it had two little wheels in the back and one big wheel in the front. And you sat down for little kids. Big kids rode it too, but it was tough. But they had a big wheel there. And you sat and you pedaled and rolled and drove around. And so at this particular Bluebird Nursery School, the backyard when we went to recess was on an incline. So it was a square. So if you went up one side, really, kind of climbed one side, and you zipped across, and at the top, if you went really fast across the top, you can make that turn and then zip down the other side. And that's what I used to do. And I did that to impress the girls. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know girl, boy, all that stuff, but I just knew I wanted the girls to look at me. Skip ahead to about 11, 12 years old. And my grandmother, we're on a bus outing. My grandmother, the great Letty Lockhart, would host these bus rides as fundraisers for the junior usher board at our church. And we go to Bear Mountain and different places. And on one particular bus ride, Miss Betty Black, was my grandmother's best friend from Jamaica. Her family was up from Jamaica, so there's all these, she had her nieces and nephews, and mostly she had nieces, and there were a bunch of these girls all our age. And we went on this big bus trip, and we were all laughing and giggling and hitting the girls and running away. That's, you didn't know what to do. You're 11, 12 years old. And when we got home, my grandmother said to me, "You liked Miss Black's nieces?" And I said, "Yeah, Mommy, Grandma." I used to call her Mama. "Yeah, Mama, the one in the black shorts, she was nice. And we played the whole day at the pool and this, that, and the other." Didn't know what you were doing, just flirting. She's flirting, little girl's flirting back. And I remember my grandmother saying to me at this very young age, when you look for a wife, when you get to that age and you're looking for a wife, make sure she's West Indian. So she told me. 11, 12 years old. Now, I didn't listen to my grandmother. I went on to life. I dated Hispanics and Haitians and West Indians and, just dated all kinds. United Nations of girlfriends. Americans, Southerners, Northerners, Army brats, New Yorkers, all kinds of women. White, black, all kinds of women. And so recently, as many of you know, the whole previous relationship did not work and went into a depression, was sad for a couple months. And coming out of depression, my good friend of mine, I'm not going to say her name, I'm not going to say any names, but a good friend of mine came to me, and I saw her at an event, and she had a girlfriend with her. And she said, "This is my girlfriend, her girlfriend, this is Shelley Winter. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you." I'm still kind of in that funky area, that funky headspace where when you break up with someone or they break up with you, you're still in that funky headspace. So you don't really notice anybody. And so my friend at the time, when she introduced us, she says, "You guys should get to know each other. You guys would be perfect together." And I heard it, but I didn't pay much attention. Skip ahead to a couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago, we went out, had a great time, went out again, had a great time, and been kicking it ever since, as they say. Well, last night, my friend and the young lady she introduced me to came to my house. And for those of you who know what I'm getting ready to talk about, it's cultural, it's Christian, but it's cultural. And there are many cultures that participate in this in different ways, but they still do it. They came to my house and they spiritually cleansed my house with candles and herbs and salt. And they quoted Bible verses throughout my house to cleanse my house, to really cleanse it out. Now, I'm a churchgoer. I'm a believer. But many of you know that, it's not an every Sunday guy. I pray all the time, but I'm not an every Sunday guy. I tell you the truth, when I walked into my house last night, it felt different. It felt different. I turned off my light in my bedroom to watch TV because that's what I always do after I put on my pajamas. I turn off the light, ceiling fan's on, and the only light in the room is the TV light. And it still felt like the light was on with the light being off. And at a certain point in the night, I turned off the television and it was dark in my room, and it was I had this overwhelming urge to talk to God. But I had this overwhelming urge to talk to my mom who passed away. I felt her in my house, my mom. And we talked. Now, for those of you who are hardcore Christians and, maybe you don't believe in this kind of stuff, but I know I talked to my mom and God last night. And one of the things the young lady told me that they had prayed for was success. And one of the things they said to me is, whatever you lost monetarily will be returned to you tenfold. And I was like, yeah, whatever, thank you. Because I did feel different. My house is different. My house feels different. It feels lighter. It feels airier. It feels freer. It feels just loving. There's love in my house now, the way it was when my mom was there after they left yesterday. I woke up this morning. I may start to tear up, but I woke up this morning to a text message from an insurance company, State Farm Insurance. Guy's name is Tony Bennett, I believe. State Farm Insurance, Tony Bennett. And I have been text messaging with Cam Davis, his person in the State Farm Insurance Company, locally based. And she sent me a text this morning. It came in with a quote. Mr. Winter, I've got a good quote for you. If you like this quote for your insurance, give me a call. Remember, these two young ladies, one of which knew my mom while she was alive, and my mom absolutely adored her, and her friend who I've been kicking it with for the last couple weeks, had just spiritually cleansed my home. And the first text I got this morning was from State Farm. Tony Bennett, I believe is his name. If I'm mispronouncing his last name, I apologize. I know Cam Davis is his employee who reached out to me through text message. And I called her up. I said, Cam, can you match this quote? Is this quote real, or you just kind of get me in with the low quote, and then when you run everything, it's going to go up high? She said, no, Mr. Winter, I have all your information already. I run people who have done quotes for every 6 months to see if it changes, and yours drastically changed. It's almost 2/3 less than what I was paying for insurance. I automatically got money back because I switched over to State Farm Insurance locally here with Cam Davis. And I thought to myself, what? This can't be real. I literally am saving about almost $300 for auto insurance, just like that. Now, someone would say, oh, Shelley, it's just a coincidence. Doesn't mean much. No, it means something to me. Because last night, after my home was spiritually cleansed by these two angels, one a very dear friend of mine, one the other young lady I'm kicking it with right now, and probably will be kicking it with for a very long time. They spiritually cleansed my house with Bible verses and candles and everything else. And right upon waking up this morning, I'm already plus $260 a month for car insurance. I tell you this because our homes are very important to us. Our homes are where we spend a lot of time. And we have people coming in and out of our homes. Spirits, they bring spirits with them. They bring their own spirits with them. They let in other spirits, and it's real. You could tell me it's not. You could say whatever you want, but I feel it's real because I've seen it before. I've seen it with my grandmother. I've seen it with my mother. And I'm seeing it again with two friends, a sister and someone I'm kicking it with, and will be kicking it with for a very long time. And already, Mommy and God have said, Shelley, we got you. And then I wake up this morning and I get a text from the Ossoff campaign, and they say, hey, thanks for endorsing the senator. We're sending out a press release about your endorsement. Let me tell you what that did for me, because that establishes what I've been trying to do for years and establishing the Shelley Winter Show as the go-to show for Georgia politics. Eric Erickson is knowledgeable. Eric Erickson's great, but he's national. I've been working hard for years to establish this show from 7 to 9 p.m. as the go-to show for politics. And what happens after having my home cleansed spiritually, having all the dark spirits pushed out and bringing in God, bringing in my mom, bringing in my grandma, and bringing in all those people who have spent their entire lives, even in death, protecting and guiding me and protecting me. The Ossoff campaign says, we're going to send out a press release about your endorsement. Understand what that means. That means that there's somebody someplace that views this show and me, Shelley Winter, as a voice in this city, a voice in this state, big enough to say, hey, look who endorsed us. You can hate on that all you want to, but what you can't do is fight God and what God has intended for me. You know who I'm talking to. It's the Shelley Winter Show. We will be right back.